Hello there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy.
Your mic.
Oh, my mic's not on. Hang on. That's never happened before. Let me pop this mic on. How y'all doing today? Happy Wellness Wednesday. I'm wearing this shirt for you because a little kindness can change everything in this world. There we go. Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right, today we are making a delicious Wellness Wednesday dinner. This is super high in potassium, in fiber, in protein. I'm going to show you how to put it together. This is going to be a longer recipe, and I'm going to move as quickly as possible. If you have any questions along the way, please put them in the chat or comment box, and I see who's here, and I will answer them if I can get to it with all the other cooking. And if I can't get to it now, I swear I will get to it later. I answer everything one by one, and sometimes it just takes me a little longer. All right, today we're making Asian-style chickpea tacos. You ready to make some tacos? Let's have fun. The first thing that we need are a bunch of veggies, all right? So I'm gonna start this recipe with some red onion. I'm gonna do half the recipe, but the full recipe will serve 4 to 6, all right? That's like 2 or 3 tacos per person, 4 to 6 people, all right? So I'm gonna use, in my case, half a red onion, and I have one that's already been opened. All I'm gonna do is dice it. I'm not gonna get too fancy with it this time. I'm just gonna quickly dice my veggies. For your cooking vessel, you want to get a nice big wide surface area and something with a lid. So today I'm going to use my medium stock pot. It's really nice to do this in something with a lid because your veggies will get nice and tender very quickly. So let me get my pot ready. I'm going to turn it on a medium-high heat. Now, if you are whole food plant-based, you can skip the extra virgin olive oil, but I'm going to use just a little bit. I refilled it yesterday, and sometimes it has a second. It needs a second to like break through that bubble. I'm going to use about less than a tablespoon, just under a tablespoon. And I'm going to throw in my onions. Definitely use the red onion for this if you can find it. It's going to add a nice sweet element that's going to go really great with the Asian style sauce. We'll make that in just a second. All right, the next ingredient that we want is carrot, all right? So actually add your vegetables to your pot depending on their consistency. So you never want to add, let's say, garlic first. Generally, when that is added first, it means that there's going to be some other things that are added quickly, and the dish will be finished and done rather quickly. But for our case, it's going to cook for about 7 minutes or so. So I'm going to start with the hardest vegetables, the onion, the carrot, and then I'll move to the bell pepper. Make sense? So I have my carrot here. I'm just going to use 1 carrot. You may use about 3 carrots for the full recipe, and I've already peeled it, but I want to just now dice it into matchsticks. So I'm going to make it into 4 pieces, which I have here, and then I'm going to just really carefully run my knife over the carrot until I get these even, nice matchstick pieces. All right, I have that. Oh, this just went off. There we go. Now I have my matchsticks. You can see some of them are a little thicker. I want to just make sure that they're all the same size. So go through it once more. See, like kind of fan it out once more, and then really get all of these diced. You can also do grated carrots. You can do this in a food processor. Just grate them really quickly with a grating blade. Pop in that carrot, it's like whoop, and it's all grated all at once. Really cool. In my case, I'm just going to use matchsticks, and I'm actually just cutting them in half now. Throw that right in. So we've got our crunchy vegetables in the pot. Now I want my softer vegetables, and this is getting nice and warm, and it's really going to start to heat nicely here. The next thing that I'm going to use is red bell pepper. I love the red bell pepper. It's really super sweet. And again, we're going to use sweet vegetables so that we can match the Asian style sauce that we're going to make. This red bell pepper is chock full of vitamins and minerals. How do we know? Because it's red. If nature indicates to us that it is a vibrant color, it means it's going to give us vibrant health. It truly does work that way. The red bell pepper, the yellow bell pepper, and the orange have the most nutrients, that's vitamins and minerals, as well as the macronutrients. And then the green comes in close second. That's why the green peppers are going to cost less, and the red, yellow, and orange are going to be more expensive. They know, those farmers, what's in their vegetables, what's in their produce, and they want to get them premium for all of the delicious produce that's healthy for us. So I love red bell because I can use it in a lot of different things. Today I'm using it in these tacos as the base, but I also love to just like make slices and dip it into rice wine vinegar, to dip it into hummus. I love to put it in salad and sandwiches. Now I'm just gonna make little pieces, like julienne pieces. These are kind of thick, and so because they're kind of thick, I'm now gonna slice them in half so I have nice diced julienne. Yeah, throw that right in. I think I need a little bit more bell. I'll just do half. There we go. You guys see, I've removed most of the seeds and all of the ribs here. You see some little seeds. I want to just take those out, put those right into your compost. I don't want this to be spicy. I really want this to be nice and sweet and delicious. All right, throw that in. Now let's give that a little mix. All right, so I'm using a heat-resistant spatula. So important, especially if you're doing high heat cooking like we are right now. Invest in one of these, you guys. If you're interested, I have an Amazon influencer page with all of my kitchen tools and my favorite essentials. Check it out. All right, now I'm gonna add a little bit of sea salt because I've mentioned this in the past. We're gonna season as we go, yeah? Just a little bit. You don't have to go over the top. And if you are salt-free, just use your favorite salt substitute. That simple. I'm just gonna season as I go. I've added the harder vegetables or the crunchy vegetables. And now I wanna just add a little S, that's salt. Hi, Mom. Hi, Diane. Good to see you guys. All right, the next ingredients that I wanna add are, let's talk about the sauce, and then we will add the sauce right to this, all right? The last two soft ingredients we will add to this mixture after. But for right now, I'm just gonna give it one more mix with my spatula and then cover it up. The covering is really good. It's gonna continue to help this cook quickly, and it's gonna steam it. It's gonna be really nice and steamed and tender in just about 5, 6, 7 minutes. All right, so I have my bowl here. I'm gonna use a clear bowl so you can follow along with me, all right? And if you have a question, you just let me know about any of the ingredients or anything. I'm gonna do an overhead shot the whole time. The first thing that we need is organic maple syrup. So I have that here. I'm gonna throw this in. This is gonna add a nice sweet element. The next thing that we want is some delicious soy sauce. I'm gonna use low sodium soy sauce. That's what I'm using here. And I love it. It usually says reduced sodium or low sodium. Do you guys see that? This is Trader Joe's version. It's so good. I absolutely love it. I love that it comes in a large container. Throw that right in. Okay, I also want a little bit of the rice wine vinegar. Let's see. I did measure it. Here it is. This is rice wine vinegar. It doesn't look like much, right? Okay, I don't know why I'm showing you. Let me show you the bottle. That's probably better. Organic rice wine vinegar. This stuff is seasoned. It's delicious. It's 12 fluid ounces. It's gonna last a long time. It's great for salad dressings. It's great for marinades. Lots of different uses for it. Now, the next thing I want is a piece of garlic. I'm gonna mince this up with my garlic press. It's really fun to use a garlic press in this way. You can just throw it right in, right over your bowl of your sauce, and then let the garlic pieces fall. That's it. This I'll clean later, but this is a really cool garlic press. Most of them have them now. It doesn't matter the brand. There's like a little tiny comb that you can pop off. You see this comb? I don't know. What it does is, let me move this, is you can actually take this comb and you can actually take it and push any of the garlic that's remaining, that's stuck in this chamber. And it also has a little pick at the end. See that little pick? So I can pull this and look what I get. A ton more garlic. It's really important to do that so that you don't waste. One of the things that I learned as a chef in restaurants is that you don't want to waste anything. It's all about the food cost. In our case, it's all about the delicious nutrients. So I want every bit of it right in my sauce. All right, the next thing that I want is some lime juice. I'm going to use one small lime here. You want about a tablespoon or so. You guys, if you want these quantities and you want the written recipe, go ahead and download my newest cookbook. This is the October Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. And this is the third recipe in the book. And this is a cookbook of recipes that will get you through the month. There's lots of different categories of food and lots of different recipes that we will keep in the books from month to month, but change the recipes. For instance, pancakes, for instance, tacos, for instance, burgers. I always will include these sorts of things. And I change the recipes with the seasonal eating, with the produce that's in season, which I absolutely love. So check it out if you're interested. All right, the next thing that I want is a little toasted sesame seeds. I'm gonna use about a tablespoon here. And I love to buy these in the large container because I use them very often. These things are super high in protein and they're really, really good. It adds like a nice crunch factor. It's fantastic. I love the sesame seeds and I love that they're toasted. It adds a nice savory quality. Yeah, let's do a little question. All right, this comes from my mom, the one and only. If I only had Bragg's, how can I use it in place of the soy sauce? But Bragg's is so salty. Really great questions. The first part is, yes, you can use it as a substitute. If you want to use Bragg's liquid amino and you're really looking at how much sodium that you're taking in each day, the thing that I recommend, if you're going to use Bragg's, let's say for a sauce or a marinade or a dressing, and you don't want it to be super salty, you would take the amount that's needed for the recipe and cut it in half, and then cut it in half with some water. So for instance, in this case, we're using soy sauce. We want 3 tablespoons. So I would use 1.5 tablespoons of the Bragg's and 1.5 tablespoons of filtered water. And you've got something that's very, very similar to reduced soy sauce. It's gonna be really good. It's still gonna be delicious. It's still gonna give you that umami flavor without all of that added sodium, all right? It's a good question. All right, the next thing I want to add is a little bit of garlic powder, which I have here. I'm going to use California garlic powder. I'm going to do that overhead again. And you guys know the drill, what that looks like pretty much. Onion powder, yeah, it's going to give a nice oniony flavor. Ooh, some of that onion powder got stuck. I don't want to waste any of that. There we go. You're in. And then some chili garlic sauce. Look, I got this stuff. This is from Yay Ties. Oh, there you are. Chili garlic sauce. This is a Thrive Market or a Whole Foods ingredient, Whole Foods Market ingredient. You can also find it at health food stores like Mother's or Sprouts. Any chili garlic sauce is going to be great. It's nice and garlicky and it's nice and spicy. I'm going to add half a teaspoon. There we go. You don't need a whole lot. And then the last ingredient that we want is a little arrowroot powder or starch. And that's this really nice fluffy powder. It's very similar to a cornstarch, but it's less processed. And I really like it as a thickening agent. Generally, we make a slurry or a slake, as they say in Scotland. But this case, we don't need to do that because we have enough liquid in the sauce that it's going to go ahead and open up and kind of gel up in the sauce here. And it's going to also get really nice and thick once you add heat to it. So once we add it to our pan, it's going to be great. All right, fantastic. I'm going to put this aside. You guys doing okay? Pretty simple so far, yeah? All right, the next thing that I want to do is first check on my ingredients here. Owie. Just have a little veggie steam bath. Don't mind me. Steam facial, steam bath. It's a funny story. Oh, Lord, Mom's going to love this. My mom used to tell us that we needed facials when we were growing up. And this is when I was like 8 and my sister was like 11. And I would always be like, Mom, I don't want a facial. And she would be like, honey, let me treat you. And I didn't do it all the time, but I did do it like maybe 3 or 4 times. I gave in and I said, okay, I'll do it. The first few times I didn't like it. And then the 3rd and 4th, I was like, oh, I'll get into this. And I remember Noreen was the dermatologist esthetician that would do our facials. And she would say, now I'm going to give you a steam bath. And every single time I'd be like, ah. Oh man, that brings me back. Goodness. Mom, you remember Noreen? Noreen, if you're watching, thanks for all those facials. All right, let's stay focused. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to talk about the softer ingredients. Let's first talk about the chickpea, garbanzo bean, chi-chi bean, whatever it is that you call it. I was raised calling these chi-chi beans. And then when I got to elementary school, because I was such a foodie and a nerd, I would talk to people about the foods that I was eating and experimenting with. And I would say, come on, you guys, don't you like chi-chi beans? And people would be like, what are you talking about? Right? Like kids didn't know what chi-chi beans are. Adults don't know what chi-chi beans are. Anyway, it's a very Sicilian, I think, word for chickpea or garbanzo bean. This is a wonderful, wonderful plant-based staple. It's super high in protein. I'm going to just share a quick screen with you really fast because I think it's really interesting. I want to share just some of the health benefits inside. There we go. Here is a wonderful infographic. I want to just bring your attention to the beautiness and the health benefits of the chickpea. Here you can see this photo is dried chickpeas. Really, really cool to take these from dry and cook them in a pot of water. They do take a few hours, but they're really nutritious that way. You can get in a serving of chickpeas, which is 1 cup, 35 grams of carbs, 210 calories, 3.8 grams of fat, 10 whopping grams of protein, and 9 grams of fiber. Like I said before, they're high in fiber, high in protein, low in sodium, and low in cholesterol. And it's a great source of vitamin B6, folate, vitamin C, and a lot of other soluble fiber. And now I also really want to show you the health benefits in thinking about it in other ways beyond just the micro and macronutrients. I want you to know that the mighty chickpea, it can really strengthen your immune system, all right? So think about food as your way for self-defense, to actually keep your body feeling fueled and fired up, meaning fired up against all of the elements out there in the world, including COVID-19 and the common cold, which is definitely upon us in the winter season. Just a few other things. It can also improve the nervous system. It can improve the elasticity of the walls of the veins and arteries. Just a little personal story on that. I've had, since I was born, a vein disorder called venous insufficiency. And just last year, I had to have my leg, my veins actually rerouted. And one of the things that the doctor used to tell me, Dr. Duong would say, I want you to eat as many beans as possible. And I was like, I love you for saying that, Dr. Duong, because I was right there with him. And I knew the benefits of especially chickpeas in your vascular health. So just kind of food for thought, no pun intended. All right, I'm going to come back to it now. I'm going to add the chickpeas because I can see my veggies are nice and yummy. And by yummy, I mean getting nice and tender. So chickpeas go in. You guys, I rinse the chickpeas and I drain the chickpeas, and that removes about 1/3 of the sodium in the can. So here's the organic can of chickpeas that I use. Woo, where are we? There we go. Organic chickpeas from Trader Joe's with sea salt. Because it's brined in sea salt, this is going to have a lot of sodium. In this container, it's going to have over 400 milligrams of sodium. So by rinsing them and draining them, we can remove a lot of that, up to 1/3, okay? And that's really a good thing to do. Even if you're not watching your sodium, it's really a good thing to do. Now, the last ingredient is really fun. It's lacinato kale. You guys ever seen this before? This stuff is really great. It's the dino kale. Tuscan kale. It goes by many names, like many foods. The proper name is lacinato kale. I think that's the part of the genome name. And it's wonderful. It's got this wonderful full leaf. Do you see that? Meaning regular kale has like a kind of a curly kind of like situation, and you can actually see the rib. The rib, or the vein in this case, is kind of tucked inside. And this stuff is super high in iron and in calcium and in folate. Really, really good for us. So we're going to add a little lacinato kale. And I want to just tell you that you can also eat the stems. So we're going to actually enjoy the stems. And I'm going to slice these up thin first, and then add them right to the chickpea veggie mixture. And as long as you're slicing the stems pretty thin and you've washed them really well, you can use them. Don't try to throw the stems in with the leaves, because the stems are thicker and they're going to need and require more of the cook time. Does that make sense? So you definitely want to cook the stems for a little longer. Get that in. Fantastic. This is looking really good. I love that it's now speckled with the green. It's really, really nice. Fantastic. I did use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, but it was optional. If you don't use olive oil because you're whole food plant-based or for health reasons other than that, you can absolutely use a little water or a little veggie broth. You guys, I started buying mini boxes of vegetable broth because I know that I can use it as a oil substitute in my sauteing and my things like that in my cooking. And it's really been great. Now I'm just shredding up the rest of the lacinato kale. Shredding it pretty thin too. I don't want large chunks of kale in this dish because for tacos, I want everything to kind of be the same size. And so I don't want large pieces of kale. Not only is that going to add too much bitterness all in one bite, but I want it to blend in with everything else. Yeah? All right, cool. So give this a mix. So now we've added the couple ingredients at this point. What do we need to do? We need to season as we go. Super important. Use your favorite salt substitute if you don't like salt. I'm just going to keep emphasizing that. And you see that I'm only adding a tiny little bit. All right. Now's a good time to start thinking about your garnishes. Yeah? What are your favorite taco garnishes? Will you share in the comment box? What are the things that you love to add to your taco, no matter what the filling is? I really, really would love to know. Yay. Tell me. All right. My mom says she's going to put the lacinato kale in her salad today. Amazing. And Natalie says, I love my mini boxes of veggie broth. So handy to have in the fridge. They really are. Super handy. Now, I want to emphasize, if you're using a lot of veggie broth, please don't go and buy the mini boxes. that's just a waste of the materials, not only to ship it to you, but to hold the broth in many, many mini boxes. But if you're only using veggie broth occasionally, then it's all gravy. Yeah? Yeah. Cool. All right. Let me know. Avocado is a great garnish. I see avocado. You guys, I'm going with something sweet today. I love avocado, although I use it in almost every single recipe. Today I thought instead of savory or buttery like the avocado, I'm going to add a delicious seasonal Keat mango, you guys. These are super ripe and super in season right now. The Keat mango is yummy. If you can get your hands on one of these, please do. It has a very green skin. Keats are fantastic because they have a wonderful sweet and buttery flavor. This has been in my refrigerator for a very long time, 2 weeks at this point. And I really wish that I had left it out for a few days, but I was afraid it was going to go bad because it's been very hot where I live. So I've kept it in the refrigerator. And at this point, I'm just going to get just a little bit of the Keat mango, like one side of it. Here's how I open up a mango. I take it on my board just like this, and I can see I'm going to follow. See, this is where the actual pit is, that large seed inside. What I want to do to cut around that is I'm actually going to cut around it by going not in the center, but around the seed. So my knife is going to literally cut around this big seed. And I'm going to make little tiny diced bits of this. Will you take a look? Admire this Keat with me, will ya? This comes from the Philippines. It's so great. Yes, we do grow them in California too. So native to the Philippines, I should say. Now at this point, I'm going to show you how I would actually cut this out. I'm going to do it this fun way. I'm going to take my chef's knife and I'm going to very carefully go into this and score the mango. And I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm not going to go and puncture the skin all the way through. I'm just kind of capturing the bits of the fruit, the meat essence of the fruit inside of the skin. Yeah, following me? You can see that I'm scoring it. This looks so great. Now that it's all scored, I'm just going to show you in the overhead cam. You see I've gone both directions. We have perfectly diced pieces. Whoops, I'm going to now invert it inside out. It just flung out of my hands. Hate when that happens. And what you have is this beautiful kind of like amazing centerpiece that you could add to any fruit platter, right? It's kind of gorgeous. And I'm just going to take a few of the diced pieces off by running my knife over it. Yum. Yum. This looks great. This is a little underdone, I will say, I have to admit, but you can see that. Let's taste it for sweetness. Oh, wow. Sometimes the Keat mango can be deceiving. It seems a little underdone, but it's super sweet still. So great. Remember, we're doing a sweet sauce, so it's sweet garnish. It's going to be unbelievably tasty. Now, you guys, we are at the finish line here. I'm going to take my sauce. It's nice and thick now, just slightly because of the arrowroot starch. I'm going to throw it in, and I'm just going to like bathe all of the veggies and the chichi beans and the kale with the sauce. Yum, yum. If you want, you can add a little bit of water. Let's see if I need to add any water. I'm going to pull out a little carrot here. Oh my God. Yeah. It's done. All right, I'm glad you didn't see that. So this is fantastic. It's done. It's super tender. It's delicious. Thirsty. Sorry about it. All right. Now, let me clear the decks so that you can really keep your attention on this plate. I'm going to plate this up for y'all. It's going to be yummy. It's going to be easy. What you want to do right now, I've done it ahead of time, so I'm not doing it, is you want to actually griddle your tortillas. So find your favorite tortillas, griddle them up, make sure they're good, make sure that they're nice and charred. The charred, the better, I say, especially for the tortilla. It has to be nice. I didn't use these. Less dishes. Yay. So you guys, I have this gorgeous tortilla warmer here. This comes from Mexico by way of comes from Los Angeles by way of Mexico. I bought it in Little Mexico in Los Angeles. I have an amazing one that's just like this. It's white. It's available on my Amazon influencer page. And I will tell you, it's really cool to get a white one because you know what you can do? You can paint the top. It's a fun activity. So you can actually paint any flowers or anything that you want. So do that. All right, so I have it here. I griddled these and I love this. It's foam inside, which I don't always love, but it's exactly the right thing that we need. I want to take my tortilla out. You can see I've griddled it. It's nice and perfect. I'm going to add my Asian chickpea taco filling. Fill it up. Like really fill it up. Enjoy yourself. You can have a couple of these for sure. You can have as many as you want. I mean, I'm not putting any restriction on you ever. Ad libitum. Without restriction, you can enjoy this food. I love that. I love that. All right, I think I'm going to add a little bit of the mango. You could add avocado too. You could add chili garlic sauce. You could add salsa, whatever you want. Make it your own. Perfect. I think that's great. Yeah, cherry tomatoes would be great. Jerry from Fresno. Jerry, you have an amazing story. Jerry is maybe the oldest participant in our group, and I love you for that, Jerry. Jerry has a great story, and I'm glad that we've been chatting a bit on the thread. Use those cherry tomatoes right now, you guys. It's the end of the season, so if you can find organic cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, get them. Definitely get them. Now I need a little cilantro, something herbaceous and yummy. Thank you. And I also want a little bit of the scallion. I think that would be nice. You guys, I'm holding my cilantro in a container full of water. I have a little bag over it, kind of like a hydroponic greenhouse, as Claudia Sandoval said yesterday. Did you guys see that? Chef Claudia Sandoval came yesterday to watch the show. She's from MasterChef. She's an amazing person, an amazing friend. I love her. I love everything she's doing. She's the judge on MasterChef Latino right now. Fantastic chef. And I want a little bit of the green onions. Let them fall kind of wherever. All right, come on, as I say all the time, because it always surprises me how amazing and delicious this food turns out. It's like simple. I always think, oh man, there's going to be something missing. It's not going to be delicious enough. It's not going to fill the plate. And every single time I pleasantly surprise myself and my palate. And you know what they say? We eat with our eyes first. We absolutely eat with our eyes first. And it's so important to like look at your food. I want to look at my food. I want to give this food a little gratitude. Gosh, we are so grateful. Thank you. All right. And here we go. Truth time. What? And that's the other thing. And that's really the other thing. This flavors, it's surprising to me. It's like people always say, excuse me, I'm going to be bored on eating plant-based. I'm going to be bored just eating plant-based foods. The truth is you have more options, way more options with eating plant-forward diet than you do eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet. So consider doing this. Consider tasting this dish, making it your own, adding elements that your family loves so that you can enjoy this food without restriction, with abundance, and your family can enjoy it with you. This is fantastic, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. That mango, it's perfect little garnish. I have another wonderful recipe for you tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to make baked veggie spring rolls or veggie egg rolls, depending on where you come from, where you live in the world. I love these baked veggie egg rolls. They're really yummy. If you want to make them alongside with me tomorrow, just all you need to get are the vegetables that are included in the recipe in the cookbook, and make sure that you get vegan egg roll wrappers. I found these at Mother's Market, Whole Foods, Safeway, Vaughn's, Albertsons. So any of the actual standard markets will have it. You just need to make sure that read that label. It should have some sort of vegan little label on it to indicate that it is vegan. So join me tomorrow for that. Let me just tell you, that's Thursday. That's going to be our mighty snack for tomorrow. It's going to be a yummy snack for tomorrow. And then to finish out the week strong, on Friday, we're going to be making a creamy rice pudding. It's totally delicious. Classic rice pudding made with plant milk, delicious cinnamon sticks, and long grain white rice. It's going to be fully delicious, fully sweet. I was gonna say full of nutrients. So join me for that. And if you haven't done so already, please consider joining our Plant-Based Made Easy Facebook group. We are now 1,700 people and growing from all over the world. You guys, I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you find value in the content that I'm providing. Please keep telling me what you wanna see, and I will be of service to you in any possible way that I can. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Make it wonderful and magical, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.